Hello, Frugal Force. This is Captain Frugal reporting for duty for another episode of Road Rage. I know I sound a little different, and also I have not been haven't put up any videos this week. If you haven't seen my Twitter or the message I put up on there, that's the reason I put up there is why. For other people, before I get into that, Road Rage is just off the cuff discussion videos I do usually while driving or taking a walk, getting some morning exercise. So anyway, this week I haven't been able to talk much, and that's why I sound funny right now, and that's why I haven't done much for videos. Last Friday my mouth started hurting, and by Friday night it felt like Negan was taking Lucille to my face. And I mean constantly, not just here and there. It was like somebody who just constantly was beating me with a ball bat. And so anyway, you know, because there's usually not dentist open, and I have a high pain tolerance. I do. So just so you know my pain tolerance, for example, I have my upper two wisdom teeth removed, and that same day, I had it done in the morning, I took 2 over-the-counter Motrins, like 400 milligrams. That's like what you take for a headache. And went out and pulled like 70-something quarts of strawberries I picked. And I was fine. So, I've broken my leg doing a bad jump on a bike, and continued riding my bike that day. I'm not saying that's a smart move to do, but I have a pretty high pain tolerance. Well, this thing, man, holy cow, this wiped me out. So anyway, it started Friday night, and the problem was I couldn't sleep. It's just because it's like somebody's constantly beating me up, and nothing was making it go away. So I had to wait till the dentist was open, schedule an appointment and all that. So from Friday night till Tuesday, all those nights together, I slept a total of about 5 hours. So I was pretty out of it. And I could barely talk. So what happened is I still have my lower wisdom teeth, and there's not a whole lot of room in there for the back end. And then it says, the way it's formed is so my gums even go over top of it, and there's no way to ever get under there. And so what happens, it got infected, and it got badly infected, he said, and that causes your muscles all around to get messed up, and in your jaw and all that. And yeah, it really did. I mean, it hurt like you wouldn't believe. And it still does now. I'm on medication for it right now. It was so bad they cleaned it all out and stuff, but they didn't even want to pull it right then. They said, no, we got to get the infection down first. So I'm on a lot of medication right now for that. But tomorrow morning I'm getting that thing taken out. So woo! And then hopefully in a few days I'll be fully back and swinging like normal. So anyway, that's why I sound goofy, because part of my... It's hard to talk. So anyway, I just want to do a quicker video today. One, just to state that, and the other one is because I haven't addressed it, is the whole DNC lawsuit against Mark Waid thing. And I just want to know your views too. And I'm going to sum this quickly. I'm not a lawyer, first of all, just for the record. My expertise lie in business, economics, finance, and management. But I have worked. And I have a lot of experience in the law side too, on business. I've worked hand in hand with it. I've dealt with copyright issues for corporate and lots of other things, defamation, contract breaking, and all that. So I've had a lot of work in this. But with that said, I am not a lawyer, and I'm not going to pretend to be. I've taken a lot of law classes, and as I said, I've worked with legal capacities at work, but I'm not a lawyer. And so I like to make that up front. With that said, based on my knowledge of the law and business in these situations, I do think DNC has a case. I agree with Rakita Law very much so on what he said. And I really appreciate the fact that he said, and I agree with this 100%, you never know what a judge is going to do. You don't. You can prepare and you hope as much that you present the best case possible, that you've got enough evidence and things, but you never know what's going to happen. You might get a judge that really doesn't think much of anything as social media, doesn't think it's impactful at all, and he might think it's a joke. Or you might get one that's the complete opposite, so you never know. So they're going to, and that's the key right there. They're going to have to get good enough information proving that Waid did this. And I know people go, well, the tweets and all that. Yeah, sure. And there is a lot of element of truth to that. He sunk himself a lot with his tweets and crap like that. So that's great for DNC's case there. But just telling people and virtue signaling, telling people, hey, DNC's blah 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 blah, is not gonna help DNC's case much there. But the things he said that he did, like contacted it, like the interview he did with Bleeding Cool or whatever, that he contacted alternative press, things like that, that's gonna hurt him. So here's my ultimate findings here. Here's what I think will happen. Once again, this is only I think. So it doesn't matter at all. Okay, it has no bearing. But I think this is gonna settle out of court. Because going to court is expensive. They've each got lawyers, and you're going to be paying those lawyers, and it's going to be costly. So the kicker is how much his ego is going to be in play here, especially on Mark Waid's part. How far is Mark Waid willing to take this and pay to preserve his precious table flipping ego? And here's because I think he's got one, clearly, and I think he's got mental issues. But when the dollars start piling, because I mean, this case could be $50,000 in costs from a lawyer if he wants to push this thing out, or so. Definitely could. It could be very up there. Lawyer rates are not cheap, and so my guess is it's going to settle out of the court. So that means we might not ever even know what the true ending of it is, because that usually a lot of times you're gonna sign things where you're not going to discuss that. But sorry, my mouth's hurting a bit here. With that said, though, there's sometimes other things too. DNC might require, if he wins this, a public apology, a written apology, and a denouncement of the things Waid said. And once again, and I'm not saying this negatively towards DNC. That's ego. How far do you really want to take this? Do you want to just win and cash out, or do you want to have a statement about your name and clear your name? And that's up to him, and I can understand that if he wanted that, because this scumball Waid has went out of his way significantly to do everything he can to way back into causing issues for him at conventions, to making up things about him and everything else. How far and how much does he want out of this? And that's something DNC has to figure out, which I'm sure he already has. Before he's even gotten this, he's probably talked to his lawyer, and they've said, look, these are what our goals are. This is what you can expect. If it goes well or doesn't go well, what do you want out of this, and how far are you wanting to push this? A good lawyer will do that. So I think DNC has a good chance to win this. I think it'll settle. How far after that, it'll go for, I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? What do you think is going to happen with this case? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Do you think this is a worthwhile case? Do you think this has a chance? Do you think it won't hold water? Do you think DNC is going to win or lose? Please, in the comments, be rational too. I don't want this, you homophobe junk, I stand with Waid, you're an idiot thing. No, just have rational conversation. Okay, it's usually those people that there's no convincing or no real discourse. There's no real discussion when the first thing you do is you start by insulting somebody, or you try to act in the guise of I'm not insulting, but you started with an insult, and then you give these points that straw man, and then you act like you're getting attacked in the comments back. Come on, let's be kind in our discussion on this. I get those a lot from people. All right, so that's it for today. As I said, I'll try to get back to doing more normal videos as soon as I can, once I can start talking more. So thank you for listening. Until next time, keep it frugal.